Hello friends, this is Tortoise here, and I'm very excited to announce the start of another series in this video. So as you can tell by the title, this video is going to be called Tortoise Health. This series is going to be called Tortoise Health, and what it's pretty much going to be about is I'm going to be talking about different aspects of your tortoise's health. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about pyramiding, but I was also thinking about overgrown nails and beak, metabolic bone disease, etc., external parasites, that sort of stuff, and kind of create a series out of that and help you guys understand what each of these illnesses, they're not all illnesses, but what each of these, I'm going to call them illnesses, how it affects your tortoise's health and what you can do about it. So we're going to start with tortoise pyramiding, and let's get into the video. So first, what is pyramiding? Well, pyramiding occurs when the tortoise's scutes, so that's their pentagonal shapes on the back of their shell, grow vertically instead of horizontally. In a normal, healthy tortoise, the shell is kind of like a smooth dome. You shouldn't really see that the tortoise has bumps on the shell. In a tortoise that has pyramiding, the shell is bumpy and it has kind of growths that look like pyramids on the back of the shell. This occurs in species that hibernate and species that don't hibernate. It occurs in tropical species and arid species. Really, it occurs across the board. It occurs in all tortoise species that there are. It is more prevalent in some species. So, for example, redfoot tortoises are, and then there's other species like sulcatas, Russian tortoises, that don't pyramid that much. So, pyramiding, like I said, is the vertical growth of the shell. Young tortoises are the most vulnerable to this. This makes sense because at that period of time, they're growing the quickest, they're developing the fastest. So obviously, their shell is going to be the most effective while they're growing the fastest. Adult tortoises grow very, very slowly. So any change in their growth is going to be really hard to see, right? In the first couple of years while they reach their adult size, it's very crucial to try to avoid pyramiding in your tortoise. So, what is this pyramiding caused by? We see all these pictures of tortoises on the internet and they all look abnormal, so obviously we want to avoid it in our tortoise. So what is it caused by? Well, there's actually been quite a point of argument in the tortoise community. Recently, people think that it has to do with the humidity being too low for the juvenile tortoises. In the past, people have also thought that it's due to the diet that the tortoise is being fed, too little calcium in the diet, too much protein in the diet, or also caused by not enough exposure to UVB rays. So that's not having them outside, not having the proper bulb. But like I said, recently people seem to be agreeing on that it is too low humidity when the tortoise is still a hatchling. And if you think about it, it actually makes a lot of sense because in the wild, baby tortoises, while they're still very small, are not going to be running around outside in the heat a lot during the day because they're still little babies, and if they run around, they're really easy targets for predators. So until they're larger, they're going to stay hidden, and usually they stay hidden under shrubs in the shade, burrow themselves underground where the moisture is higher. So it makes sense that in the wild, baby tortoises are exposed to a higher humidity than adult tortoises. And this should be mimicked in captivity, of course, because you want to mimic their environment as much as possible. So a lot of breeders, and I'm going to post some articles in the description, so if you're interested in learning more about this, just click on those articles. And breeders have reported success by just increasing the humidity that they keep the baby tortoises at. So still the same diet, the same heat, the same amount of calcium, same amount of light, all of that, but just increasing the humidity has been very successful. And you don't even need to increase the humidity across the whole cage. All you need to do is provide a moisture hide. So kind of like snake keepers do. So like I did with I provided her with a Tupperware container with some moist paper towels on the inside. That's a great way to keep up the humidity. And a similar thing can be done with tortoises. So you can just get a bigger, obviously, Tupperware container for the tortoise and cut a hole in it, and there you go. You got your moist hide. So pretty much people have agreed on it's caused by the low humidity. So now you have your tortoise and it's pyramiding. What can you do? So like I said before, there's nothing you can do to reverse pyramiding in tortoises, which kind of sucks. If your tortoise is pyramiding, it is always going to have that form on its shell. There's nothing you can do about it. However, you can stop the process. So right now, if you have a hatchling tortoise and you're keeping it extremely dry and you're wondering why it's pyramiding, this is probably the case because you're keeping it extremely dry. So what you can do is stop that process, raise the humidity, feed a proper diet, etc. If you have an adult tortoise and it's pyramiding, there's nothing you can do. It's done growing. The shell is not going to change anymore. However, obviously you want to provide it with a proper care. But I am assuming you are because you're a great tortoise owner. So it's not a sign of bad health if your tortoise is pyramiding. It's a sign that when it was a hatchling, it wasn't taken care of properly. But it's not a sign of bad husbandry on your part unless you're the one who raised the tortoise from an egg. So shame on you. So for those of you that, however, didn't raise the tortoise from an egg, don't feel bad. There's nothing you can do about it. It's the way it is. Provide it with a good life, and you're gonna have to start to love your pet for what it is, because you are not gonna change how its shell is looking. So I hope you liked the video. That was the first of, I hope, many in this series, because it's actually, I think, a series I can do without actually having access to my tortoise, and it's something I can do over the summer holidays. I hope you like all the content on my channel. That would be the best. I really appreciate you watching this, and I would really appreciate it if you leave a like, if you leave a comment with any questions, anything at all. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.